Hello, 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 and welcome. This is once again time for some Final Fantasy XIV. Last we left off, we were doing some Four Lords quests. Also, Final Fantasy decided that the music should be insanely loud here. Blaring trumpets. So, off stream, I did a little bit of leveling here on the moon and off the moon. A little 64 samurai. Still 72 warrior, 90 ninja and all that, but I have gotten to level 50 culinarian. Went from like 38 or 9 all the way to 50 real quick. It's crazy how fast it goes. Got my little 50 cosmic fry pan. And some, well, the gear, not level 50-ish yet, because I want to bump up the other skills to 50 before I buy 50 gear, because I'm running out of space. Always running out of space in here, you know? Only got 2 slots for gloves, got 1 slot for pants. Rings only has 1 slot. Not ideal. Not ideal. Huh. But yeah. So I'm gonna have to work on those. While we're here, also, the moon has changed quite a bit. Suddenly they've got a dome here. They got a little spacecraft. They got all kinds of stuff going on. Got people dancing. A manager's persistence. Where there are more idle hands, Mumiko will find even more ways to fill them. Tell me, do you have more time to spare? Are we really doing this again? I shall interpret that to mean you needn't have asked. To the matter at hand, then. As you have no doubt surmised, I am once again in need of assistance. Your assistance. There's another troublemaker who wants for wrangling, packing away the Loporrit in charge of designing our interstellar supply chain. They're around here somewhere, so when you find them, give them this box and tell them they need to put it in the ship's cargo hold. They may refuse at first, but don't let that deter you. And if they should flee, you are to chase them across the crater, the moon, to the very edge of the universe if you must. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Look at this. A little dining area, a little, greenhouses. Hello, packing away. Oh, I know you, ardent supporter of Loporrits everywhere. Is there something I can do for you, miss? Box. Mumiko wants me to put this in the cargo hold? No, no, no! Out of the question! We can't just throw any old box on board, you know? A starship's payload capacity is incredibly strict. So if it's not in the design document, there's simply no room for it. Sorry. Packingway has refused your delivery. You may need to hunt them down and insist that they receive Mumako's mystery box. Packingway? Apparently I am to insist that you load this. You again? I see. How can I help you this time? Aren't you listening? Our vessel is already burdened with a great deal of heavy machinery, and even then, only the necessities. A last-minute addition would force me to revise all my calculations. So if it's not on the cargo list, it's not coming aboard. No exceptions. Goodbye. I mean, Packingway has evaded your delivery once more. With a little more persistence, perhaps they can be persuaded to accept Mumako's mystery box. Packingway is right, though. This is a spacecraft. Every ounce needs to be accounted for. Because it takes fuel to push that weight out into space and beyond. And so you have to account for how much fuel you need to load on. And of course, fuel has its own weight, and so there are diminishing returns at a point. And so you have to carefully calculate, okay, this is how far we need to go, and of course we'll need to come all the way back. And so we need to have fuel for both the there and back again, plus a little extra just in case of any issues that come up. And so everything does have to be calculated. So I'm with Packingway on this one. You? What do you want now? I'm told I have to persist in giving you this box. I don't know. How many times must I repeat myself? I can't accept that box. I won't. I'm with you. Wholeheartedly. Oh, for the love of... Quit your whining and place it in storage. If you think you can simply ignore my request, there's nowhere on this moon I won't find you, and our friend here would travel to the very edge of existence to track you down. Mumako? Look, I don't even know what you're asking me to store. Junasia, the box, if you please. What the? That would not fit in that tiny box. This Magitech contraption is an autonomous probe developed by none other than Justa here. Its function is to seek out sources of water in hostile environments. That's all well and good, but why insist on having it brought aboard? The ship's capacity for cargo has been measured down to the last ons, so I've accounted for the absolute minimum amount of water required. The only thing you've accounted for is death by dehydration. Loporrits may not need water to survive, but those who hail from Etheris can only last a scant few days without it. What if the tank suffers a breach? What if a fire breaks out and the water is used to extinguish it? Your piddly calculations will endanger the crew. In times of emergency, this probe will enable them to locate a water source as soon as they land. It's non-negotiable. And to be frank, Packingway, I've had a look at your cargo list. Do you honestly think we need 2 carrot cultivation stations? But how dare you? Carrots are our lifeline, Mumako! Oh, please, I understand they help you to operate more efficiently, but it's not as if you'll die without them. A single station will suffice. No, I refuse! Nothing is more essential than carrots, nothing! Come back here, Packingway! I'm not taking no for an answer! Okay, so apparently there are issues with Packingway's cargo list that I was not made privy to. You two head back without me, all right? Well, this is awkward. I must confess, I'm a bit nervous to be in your presence. I was a member of the First Legion, you see. Were it not for you and yours, I might have frozen to death at Tertium. Not long after the final days were averted, word of this project reached me through a Sharlayan contact. Interstellar travel. A daunting prospect, to be sure, but I hoped my skills might prove useful. Naturally, there was still the reconstruction efforts of Garlemald to consider, but ultimately I decided that broadening my horizons here will better serve my home in the future. You know, not long ago, I would have scoffed at the notion of working alongside the people of Sharlayan. But when I came here and beheld the whole of our star for the first time, I realized how small the Empire is, how pathetic it was to fixate on something so trivial as borders between nations. Truly, there's no greater windfall than this journey into space, and I am grateful to you for affording me the chance, even if indirectly. Now then, as Mumuko appears to have matters well in hand, why don't we head back to the lunar Hopopolis and await her return inside? Hopopolis. It took some considerable arm twisting, but Packingway has agreed to store our cargo. I appreciate your efforts in chasing them down, Jessica. Passionate as these Loporrits are, they don't have the firmest grasp of our biology, it seems. Even our concept of time is at odds. They see each task as something that takes hundreds of thousands of years to achieve. Not to suggest they shouldn't be in charge, of course, but without a little nudging here and there, it'll be decades before we get anywhere. For that reason, the project desperately needs the comprehensive oversight and perspective of someone from Atheris. Incidentally, I plan to join the voyage to the next star, so I hope you'll have more time to spare for me in future. So silly. Look at all this. Stalwart standings. Well. I suppose we should get back to it. Offered. All right. Rasen Kaikyo. Speak with Genbu in Reisen Temple. There are other quests we can do. If this doesn't take very long, which I feel like it shouldn't. Should just be like a fight with the Fifth Lord here, right? Genbu.
You are, as ever, a welcome sight, Jurassic. And do, Seiryu. Forgive me, Genbu. I have been a great fool. As have we all many times before, and doubtless will be again. Nevertheless, forgive me.
The wards are at their limit! You've got to come right away!
Then it is well that Seiryu has returned to the fold, for now we four lords may bring our united powers to bear against our foe. Your part in this is finished, my friends. Now you must go. Should we fail in this final endeavor, then the temple, nay, the whole of the Reach Sea may be consumed by Koryu's wrathful violence.
Don't be stupid! We came to see this through to the end, and we'll do just that. That's the Scion way, right, Junasia?
Yeah. If that is your will, so be it. Join us, then, and stand as witness to our deeds this day, which will determine the fate of all that we hold dear.
Yeah, those seals look to be in tatters.
Hold nothing in reserve. Summon all your strength. Only then can we hope to triumph over our mad brother.
Crazy that the Phoenix, when they transform, becomes two separate beings.
It worked. I can feel it. The wards are mended, strengthened.
Yeah, nah. What was that story about? He big. Ah, Dragon Horse.
No, no, no. Even now, after everything we have endured, everything that has made us stronger, how can we fail? All shall burn!
Oh! Oh no!
Genbu? Genbu!
It would be impossible for us three alone to fight him. but we can hope to obey for a time. Flee this place!
We cannot. We will not! We will fight!
Fool! A hero you may be, but call you as an opponent none can defeat.
Oh yeah? We'll see about that.
You! I killed you once before, samurai! I will kill you again!
No, I'm a different person. I'm not even a samurai right now. A samurai isn't high enough level to handle this, really. Da-dun.
Tenzin?
Hit him. Pressing of light.
Brother, sister, now's our chance to restore the wars! How? Even in his weakened state, without Genbu, we do not stand a chance.
Soraban will take his place.
Soraban? Come away from there before you get hurt!
If I do not act, then our lives are forfeit anyway. Ours and everyone else in the Ruby Sea. What is he doing?
This is the ritual he performed incorrectly before, when he summoned the great tortoise kami into his body. I see now. He offers himself to Genbu. I can feel his presence returning. But if Soraban does this, then his own soul will be.
I would rather not, or you not say it aloud. Otherwise, I might have second thoughts. Believe me, I know the consequences, and I accept them. Farewell, my friends, and please look after Tamamizu.
Soraban!
Worry not, Soraban. We will not let it be for nothing.
So is there no big fight?
Many thousands of years from now, but not this day. Be gone!
And the seals are mended. Yeah, no big fight. I was expecting a big ol' fight with this Fifth Lord, but no, just a big ol' cutscene. And Soroban sacrificed himself.
Koryu shall not threaten us for many millennia yet. Let us rejoice in this hard-won victory. Nearly lost were it not for your courage and strength, Josiah.
But Soroban...
Tragic though his sacrifice was, it was not in vain. Let us not mourn his death, but honor his memory. Death? Memory? What in the world are you all about? Soroban yet lives.
Let me guess, in our hearts or some such? Honestly, if you're going to try and comfort us, you could at least do better than offer trite cliches.
I am simply making a statement of fact, but I see words alone will not serve to communicate my point. Huh? But I should be... Huh? I do not understand. The ritual of the Kojin performed, he. When one summons the soul of an immensely powerful entity into one's own body, it is understood, nay, expected, that the summoner's soul is extinguished in the process. That is true, when the summoned entity's soul is of surpassing strength relative to one's own. Soroban's, however, has grown remarkably robust, owing to his intense training and his prolonged exposure to the magics of the Tamate Bako of geomancy. His soul now eclipses mine in spiritual potency, which is why it holds fast to this vessel. And so when the enchantment fades ere long, mine will depart and fade as before.
And just when we were getting used to having you around again.
Koryu's aim was true, as you saw in my final moments. I was filled with regrets, but no longer. With my remaining time, I will attend to my affairs and train dear Soroban to succeed me as the next Genbu. Wait! Me? The next Genbu?
The Four Lords are ever needed. You have both the strength of will and character to succeed our elder brother. Would you all not agree?
I think he more than proved himself when he stood his ground against Koryu. Still, it should be a unanimous decision. Byakko? As you say, He faced certain death without hesitation, and embraced sacrifice for the sake of others. I should be glad to welcome him to our fellowship.
If that is how you all feel, then I am certainly in no position to refuse. I will do my best to live up to your expectations.
Give an ilm and they'll take 'em all, I swear.
Wild.
Do not think I have forgotten our bargain, little urchin. Great feasts demand constant rewards, and we are auspices of our word.
It's about time! Did you hear that, Genasia? It's treasure time!
While we see to the preparations, perhaps you could spare a moment for my dearest comrades. With our troubles at an end, we may be parting ways soon, and so this might be the last opportunity you have to speak with them for quite some time.
Time to chitty chat.
With Koryu in prison once more, my comrades and I are free to watch over these lands as before, as is our duty. And when the wards falter once more, we shall again gather our strength and beat back our mad brother's assault, together with noble Soroban, a worthy successor to the fallen Genwu. For now, however, we may enjoy a welcome respite. A peace we owe as much to you as anyone else, I should think. I see many battles ahead of you, for like Tenzin, you're not one to rest on your laurels. This much is plain. I wish you good fortune in the wars to come. Ah, but I rebel. Do not deny it. When one has lived as long as I, it is all too easy to lose track of time. Go, go! Should ever you crave the company of we curious beasts, you will find us here.
Suzaku?
Worry not for Soroban. We will guide him in his journey and help him to reach his true potential, as Tenzin once guided us. I had long since given up on ever seeing him again. And then he was there, shining paragon of strength and virtue, a memory made manifest. But if he had been more than that, I would have told him, this body I once cursed, I have come to cherish. This I owe to him and his love.
Oh. I think he already knows.
Oh, well, that would be wonderful if true. For all his virtues, he could be remarkably oblivious at times. But though he taught me to love and accept myself, it was you who helped me to remember, who helped me to smile again. For that, Genasia, you will always hold a special place in my heart. Please come and visit us in the future. At first I thought he was a figment of my imagination, but he was real enough. How or why I know not, but a possibility springs to mind. When Tenzin was mortally wounded by Koryu, he was the last in strength to seal him within the sacred crystal. The original wards were born of his flesh, his very essence. An act of desperation, I once believed, but now I wonder, was it in preparation for this very day? But even if it had been part of an elaborate plan to preserve his soul as a final defense. His strength alone would have never sufficed. Nay, he needed another warrior possessed of tremendous potential, like himself. One blessed with a singular power to whom he could bequeath his own. He knew another would come, you see. Another hero, the likes of which the world so rarely sees. Thousands and thousands of years ago, he foresaw your coming. Bah, clever, putting me to shame with his strength and wisdom both. And still he denies me my rematch. But at least I still have you, Josiah. Live long, for I am not finished with you yet. We will fight again, and I will win, without turning to the Aramitama, you may be assured.
Uh-huh. Soroban.
Come and claim your reward, honored friends.
That sure sounds like a lot of money. Oh my goodness.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful, more than enough to make up for 1,000 of Alphino's reckless purchases.
A fitting reward for saviors of the Reese.
To be honest, I was half expecting another terrible joke, but you really followed through. Getting this home is going to be no easy task.
If transportation is a concern, we would be happy to deliver it to a destination of your choosing.
Really? Really? Just like that? In that case, the Ruby Bazaar in Kugane? If it's no trouble, that is.
None whatsoever. Every member of the collective should be glad to lend a hand.
So, do I get some of that reward, perhaps, perchance?
And with that, I take my leave.
So, Soroban? Will you really stay here and not return to Tamamizu?
Well, I did agree to become the next Genbu. For the duration of his training, I would have him remain here. It will be a long, hard road, believe me, and I intend to spend my remaining years guiding him. All 500 or so. And there you have it. I hope I can impose upon you to deliver Bunshin the news. Wait, 500 years? As in, you will be here for another 5 centuries? I thought you said the enchantment would fade ere long. These things are relative. And what's with that tone of yours anyway? You should be honored to be the beneficiary of my sage tutelage, foolish turtle. You're a turtle too! An old, tiny, crabby ghost turtle! Get out of my head!
There's something a little frightening about watching them fight with themselves. Ugh. Maybe we should leave them alone for a while.
Thank you for everything, Jinasia. Tataru, safe travels.
Well, Genvu finally has a visage to match with his brothers and sister. He no longer looks like a baby sea turtle. Ridiculousness. Alright, I can teleport there. Bunchin.
Hello, Bunchin. Hi, it is me. I sense you have reasons other than the usual for this particular visit. Might it have something to do with Soroban? I beg your pardon? Soroban is to become the next Genbu? I will not feign understanding. However, this extraordinary state of affairs came about is utterly beyond my ken. As unbelievable as I yet find it, though, I have no doubt that you speak true.
Soroban's had an incredible string of bad luck, succumbing to the Aramitama, becoming a giant tortoise, and now this. On the other hand, he could have refused and instead agreed to take on this responsibility. So we may as well support him, don't you think?
Indeed. Though it pains me to imagine Tamamizu without our Soroban, it fills me with pride to know that a Kojin of the Blue has been granted this great honor. We shall pray for him, that he may rise to the occasion and serve as a benevolent guardian to all who call the Ruby Sea home. Thank you for helping him to find his true calling, my friends.
Oh no, the pleasure was all ours. And the profit.
I am not sure I take your meaning, but I appreciate the sentiment. But if I might ask a final favor, would you be so kind as to look in on him from time to time, just to see that he is getting on all right?
Of course! It's not every day you make friends with a secret collective of talking animals, after all. Even if Soroban hadn't decided to remain at Raisin Temple, I wouldn't have wanted to stay anyway. You can be sure I'll head there from time to time. You're welcome to join me when I do, of course. And all I get was 1,277 gil and a 4 lords portrait. That's my reward. Tataru gets a boatload of cash, and I get 1,200 gil. Could have at least given me 1 million gil, right? Well, on to our next adventure. Let's, There's Thaumasine, Aporia, and Smileton. Let's start with Crystal from Beyond. Yes, Claudian. You're the one. Greetings, Genossia, and welcome to my humble laboratory. I am sure Nemjiji has already told you plenty about us, but
Allow me to introduce myself personally. I am Claudian, leader of this little research collective. I must admit, I have been nervous about this meeting ever since Nemjiji sent out to find you. For a researcher in my field, there is no greater an honor than to meet the first woman in history to traverse the ethereal sea and return to tell the tale. The professor speaks often and at length of your deeds, but he has no small number of achievements to his own name. He has peered deeper into the ethereal sea than any other in Sharlayan, and the breadth of his knowledge is peerless. Peerless, perhaps, but for a single woman, we must seize this precious opportunity to learn what we can from her, and perhaps crack this conundrum that has stumped the three of us for moons. It was we who peered into the fathomless sea from the antitower in the Dravanian hinterlands. There we spoke with Hydaelyn and learned of the fate that would befall this star, the final days. Soon thereafter, all research was moved to Labyrinthos, and though the Iteoscope did... and through the Iteoscope did we continue our vigil. As impressive a work as the device is, however, it can glimpse but a fraction of the sea's infinite depths. Which brings us to the matter at hand. Not long after the Exodus was declared, we recovered an unusual crystal shard during a routine observation. It appeared before us suddenly, as if propelled to the surface by some unknown force. We found that it possessed an ethereal density that exceeds that of normal crystals by orders of magnitude, and its shape resembles nothing which occurs in the natural world. It was made, not formed. Unfortunately, that was the extent of the information we could glean before we were forced to turn our focus towards the Exodus. The crystal was very nearly forgotten amidst the sudden upheaval. But thanks to the efforts of a certain someone, that crisis is now behind us, and we are free to resume our research. Thus did we decide to seek you out, the dauntless adventurer who delved into the unknown and beheld its innermost secrets. And now we would have you see for yourself. Here is the crystal in question. If it resembles aught you have encountered before, even by the smallest degree, please say so. Hold up. Hold up. Pulls out my Azem stone. Memory abides within this crystal. I know, I have one. As I thought, you do know what this is. Please tell me everything. Well, so there, long ago, there was the Convocation. 14 seats. I see. The Asians use these to transfer their memories to new vessels. Fascinating indeed. It was plain that this crystal was special somehow, but this revelation surpasses even my considerable expectations. Similar artifacts have appeared throughout the ages. Memories of martial techniques manifested as crystalline shards on the battlefield, or storied stones passed from master to student. A comparison between said artifacts and this crystal may prove a fruitful first step in unveiling its true nature. What do you think, Professor? Ascian memories. Windows through which we can gaze upon the convocation of 14. Unlike the crystal in Genosia's story, this one does not bear the mark of the convocation. Who then could these memories belong to? And more importantly, why were they stored in this particular shard? More importantly still, why was it set adrift on the ethereal sea?
Professor Claudian!
Huh? Yes?
I'm well aware that contemplation is the key to breakthrough, but there is propriety to consider. We have a guest. One you invited explicitly. Must we do this every time?
What? Yes, of course, our guest. Terribly sorry. I do so easily find myself unmoored by the tides of rumination. Perhaps a more engaging use of your time with us would be for you to take up that crystal. If indeed there are memories stored within, they may reveal themselves to you upon contact.
They may.
Shwa!
If anyone, message, come. Pandemonium, please. Faces, grave threat, star, in danger.
That expression does not bode well. What did you see?
I heard a voice.
Pandemonium. Pandemonium. 'Tis not a word I have heard before. If my knowledge of the ancient tongue serves me, it means all demons. Not a name that inspires optimism, all things considered. In the event that another star-shattering cataclysm is in fact bearing down upon us, I would have the aforementioned examples of crystallized memory to hand. Nemjiji, Ruisinard, I entrust their procurement to you. If there are more memories to be extracted from this crystal, we will find them. As for you, Genosia, there's a person I would have you seek. The one who has delivered so dire a warning. Your story tells us that this crystal could very well have been made by one of the ancients. If that is the case, then discerning the nature of this pandemonium would require a trip far into the past, to an era before the Sundering. I know of only one individual capable of such a feat, the very hero who traversed time to prevent the world's doom.
Yeah, I've been there, so I guess I'll head on back.
I must confess, the tales people tell of your adventures beggar belief, and their veracity has been a subject of much debate among my peers. After today's meeting, however, there can be no doubt in my mind that every incredible exploit is fact.
They are, it's true.
So I ask you now, return to the past, find out what and where Pandemonium is, and if we need be concerned by this message. Thank you. For the time being, you should keep the crystal in your possession. I do not think you have seen the last of its memories, and more may be drawn out as you approach their source. Safe travels, and may we meet again soon to share our findings. Pandemonium. There's also that. While we're here, I might as well progress this one. Where no Lockport has gone before. Where are you at? There you are, Hemingway.
Gymnasia, I knew you'd come. Clearly we have inquiring minds and a crushing need to be of use in common. Any road, I'm pleased to report that the Ragnarok has already been prepared for our journey. A journey that, fortunately, will not require the massive quantities of ether that were necessary for our previous voyage beyond the stars. How can this be, you wonder? How's if I know? Whether it is a parting gift from Mother, or perhaps the manifestation of Meteion's true desire, the vessel is strongly connected to Ultima Thule. So strongly, in fact, that it somehow simultaneously exists in both locations, here in Labyrinthos and out at the edge of the universe. Is this making more sense to you now? No? Well, it matters little. What matters is that we get to the other side and see what is troubling my dearest probe. On that note, let us be off.
Ultima Thule. Yes.
See, the Ragnarok exists here as surely as it did, and does, back in Labyrinthos. That's because we traveled here, right? What? With the vessel forming a conduit of sorts, we may also easily teleport between the two locations. Convenient, wouldn't you say? Precisely because the locations are so indelibly connected to each other. However, I fear that whatever has triggered my probe's distress signal has the potential to threaten Labyrinthos as well, and so I would investigate without delay. Let's see now. It would seem the distress signal is coming from base Omicron, not far from here. Let us hope my automaton friend can enlighten us further as to the situation.
We get some music. Oh yeah. There he is. Hello, gentlemen.
Gymnasia, this is my precious reconnaissance automaton. And yet it would appear this good-for-nothing bucket of bolts has gotten its oily paws all over it. Pray stand by for a moment while I give it a good talking to. You miserable sack of sockets! What in the heaven's name do you think you're doing with my oh-so-valuable automaton?
Completing logic circuits. N7000 categorically denies the accusations of this hirsute organism. An advanced life form such as N7000 has no need for such outdated technology. On the contrary, this unit took pity on this makeshift machine and the primitive society which created it, and deigned to issue a warning.
Primitive? Outdated? I'll show you primitive and outdated, you... Wait. What is this warning you speak of?
Initiating simplification. To explain in imprecise terms that your crude mind might comprehend. Sometime after the organic life form known as Geonosia here came in contact with M017, the Omicrons noticed an irregularity. Specifically, a powerful burst of energy from the remnants of a lost world.
No doubt a reaction to Geonosia and her companions defeating the Endsinger.
Fortunately, the energy wave itself caused no appreciable damage. Less fortunately, it housed within it an encoded message from the strategic matrix known as Stigma-1. The message contained a single word, a single command. Live.
That seems innocent enough. Whatever is the problem?
This message reached the sensors of Stigma-4, a logistics matrix that has long lain dormant. Shocked back to life at the behest of its fellow intelligence, it has resumed its duties in constructing weapons of mass destruction. Furthermore, there is a statistical probability of 99% that it will launch a full-scale assault on your eminently detectable home planet as soon as production is complete.
Can't produce weapons if you're exploded.
This unit projects that this would be less than ideal. Stigma-4's production capabilities are necessary to ensure that the Omicron's existence is maintained in perpetuity. Disabling or destroying it is incompatible with the command issued by Stigma-1.
Is there no way we might simply change its mind? If Stigma-4 is convinced that war is essential to its survival, could we not persuade it that an unprovoked offensive might threaten all existence even more?
The grubby organic life form's proposition has merit. As a military information and operations specialist, this unit does possess the capability to rewrite the memory banks of other artificial intelligence. If this unit were to hack Stigma-4's neural core and implant the memory that such an offensive once led not to victory, but to failure and near eradication, it must logically conclude that preemptive attack is ill-advised. To accomplish this unit will access Stigma-4 and use a dimensional manipulator to generate a virtual environment stimulating its memories of war. You must traverse the environment and nullify Stigma-4's expectations of victory.
That sounds simple and not at all likely to get us killed. What do you say, Geonosia?
Can't be any tougher than Omega, right? Right?
Commencing Strategic Operations Protocol. All participants in the mission, please accompany this unit to the access point at once.
That wasn't an answer to my statement. Statement/question.
From this access point, it will be possible for this unit to establish a communications interface with Stigma 4's neural network. You may be interested to know that this is the first time this unit has been able to perform its intended function since the day it was commissioned. This unit is honored, and will do its utmost to maximize the probability of success.
Are you saying that you've never actually done this before? You really had me going with your advanced intelligence talk, but at least my probe had work experience.
The fleet-ridden life forms evaluation is inaccurate. This unit is equipped with dynamic functionality. It simply has not encountered technology formidable enough to require its full capabilities before. More significantly, this unit has succeeded in establishing the interface with... interface with Stigma 4. All that remains is for you to enter the simulation and use whatever puny weapons are at your disposal to destroy the core that lies within. That should see the Matrix sufficiently traumatized. This unit will remain in this physical space to ensure the communication interface remains stable as you carry out the operation. And do take care. Though the environment is virtual, any pain you suffer within will feel quite real.
The Stigma Dreamscape now accessible. Huh? Oh yeah, I need to do Smileton as well. Smileton, Stigma Dreamscape. Time to go to the past, though. I want to see what this crystal's all about. Oh, I have to talk to you. Or... you. The Gatekeep.
If receives this message.
Question is,
Come, Pandemonium. Quickly.
question is this gonna take us to the same place we've been before, or is it gonna be a completely different part of the past. My head. Okay. Oh, hey. Could it be? Oh, you're not who I thought you were. You're somebody else. No, of course not. Apologies, but for the briefest moment, I thought you to be a dear friend of mine. I realize now that such a notion is preposterous. Did you perhaps think I was a Zem? She told me a falling star would appear before me, and I suppose you must be it. Truth be told, I did not expect the expression to be so literal. Uh-huh. I'm a falling star. Hello, Themis. Apologies for not introducing myself properly. My name is Themis. As you can see by my bare face, I am not one of Elpis's observers. Rather, I am come here on an assignment, which has been more or less routine up until this very moment. You certainly do know how to make an entrance. I must wonder what brought you here, for it is plain that you do not belong here, or any place I know, for that matter. I'm a Zem's familiar. It appears my initial impression was not so preposterous after all. I did not know my friend had such a unique familiar at her disposal. If you are here at Azem's behest, then I believe I can hazard a guess as to your purpose. You are here to investigate Pandemonium, yes? Actually, yes. If so, we may be able to help one another. But first, might I trouble you to explain how you came to collide with my skull? Haphazard teleport. Mabi. So sorry. I see. I believe that dispels any major doubts I had concerning your intentions. Apologies for being so intrusive, but you must understand this is an uncommon occurrence. I shall pry no further, for I am well aware that we all have secrets we must keep. However, if I may, I would very much like to take a look at this crystal of yours. Yeah, okay. See? Looks a lot like the Convocations crystals. Fascinating. Well, I cannot say much as to what it contains. It is clear that there are memories stirring within. Memories that speak of something gravely amiss in Pandemonium. The facility extends beneath Elpis and is overseen by the wards of La Habrea. It houses those creations that are highly valued as research subjects, and highly dangerous to the star. Naturally, it is strictly guarded and under constant surveillance. Several days ago, however, an unnatural shift in the flow of its surrounding ether was detected. Soon thereafter, all communications from Pandemonium ceased. I am here as representative of an organization that works directly with the Convocation, and have been tasked with investigating this incident. Now that there is some measure of transparency between us, might I offer a suggestion as to what we should do next? Sure. During the course of your investigation, you may discover valuable artifacts. These can be exchanged for equipment by speaking with Milani in Aporia or Joel in Razatan. Where familiars dare. Now then, my proposal is a simple one. Let us journey to Pandemonium together. Our destination is the same, and I suspect the arrangement would work to our mutual benefit. Besides, I should have no trouble gaining us both access. I do hope you agree. I would be loath to part ways from the falling star I had been waiting so long for. Originally, I had planned to conduct my investigation with the friend I mentioned earlier. She had also noticed the anomaly near Pandemonium, so it only seemed natural that we should investigate it together. However, she eventually decided that it would be unwise for us to both go. If two members of our organization were seen poking our heads about restricted facilities, it could raise questions, you see. I decided to go alone, but she left me with these words: "Fear not, for in my absence a star shall fall before you." While I could not comprehend her meaning at the time, I believe now I understand. She does have a way of being right about these things. Even so, her hints of what to come are generally more cryptic. I suppose I should have kept my gaze to the heavens. Suffice it to say that I am grateful for your presence either way. As for the matter at hand, we must first gain permission from the words of La Habrea for entry into Pandemonium. There ought to be a speaker waiting at Anagnorisis. Anagnorisis. La Habrea. Well. Words of La Habrea speaker. Hello, I am a Sam's familiar. What a fascinating etheric signature. In accordance with the Convocation's request, the two of you have been granted leave to observe Pandemonium. I shall register your ether for the records. From this point on, you may freely come and go from Pandemonium as you please. Now that was a painless process. I take this as a sign that we were meant to conduct our investigations together. Of course, while you have been permitted entry into the facility, the specimens housed inside must be handled with the utmost care. You are to head You are to heed the Warden's instructions at all times. Those who conduct their work within Pandemonium are called Warders, for their role with respect to the creatures within. Generally, creations that pose a threat to the safety of the star must be undone. However, the words of La Habrea has deemed certain such creations as worthy of further study, interring them within the facility. Those who spend their days in Pandemonium are not merely researchers, they must work tirelessly to ensure that none of their subjects slip their shackles. For all intents and purposes, the place is a dungeon. Perhaps such a comparison arouses frightful imagery, but Pandemonium is a frightful place. I know not the purpose of your investigation, but if you discover aught that merits a report, pray do so with utmost haste. Master La Habrea shall guide us upon the proper course of action from there. Then I take it that means that you have detected nothing amiss as of late? The warders have reported nothing that would cause alarm. Minor fluctuations in ether have been observed, but surely Master La Habrea would have acted if they were anything worth worrying about. I see. It appears La Habrea is kept well abreast of the goings-on here, then. I hope I am not overstepping my boundaries by asking, but you seem to be quite familiar with Master La Habrea. Do you know him? Oh, the stories I could tell you. You are no mere familiar, are you? Master La Habrea is not known for being generous with his time. That one would have stories of his company almost beggars belief. Regardless, while I doubt I need to tell you of this, he is of the Convocation. Take care that your actions do not hinder his work. And with that, we are free to make our way to Pandemonium. The naos that will take us there is on the eastern bank of Leith. Let us delay no further. Indeed. We fly. Hello, Themis. I had to contain my surprise for the sake of appearances, but is it true that you too have met La Habrea in the flesh? I find you more fascinating by the moment. If only you knew the truth of everything. Still, I shall refrain from asking too many questions. Secrets will make our journey all the more intriguing. We shall come to know each other in time, I wager. Or else, why would fate have orchestrated our meeting? In any case, let us be off. Truth be told, this will be my first time beholding the fabled Pandemonium with my own eyes. Here's to a new adventure, eh? Indeed. Ooh boy. Pandemonium sure is a fitting name. It is much as I feared. speaker seemed in such high spirits for the moment, or that for the moment I thought the ethereal irregularity not nearly so grave a portent as I had imagined. Alas, 'twas a fleeing and vain hope. To gaze upon this complex network of chains and wards, the untrained eye might not sense anything awry. No effort has been spared in making this place impenetrable. That's a good thing, no? Wouldn't want these beasties getting out. Even the finest of masterworks is not without its flaws, however. Someone or something is tampering with the protections. It is working from within, eroding them from the inside out. Uh-oh. Fear not, there is no immediate danger. I reinforced what protections I could the moment we arrived. This will not put an end to whatever is occurring, but it shall at least serve to slow its progress. One small victory, though the road ahead of us is yet long. Yes, powerful forces are at work here. Silence in the air speaks volumes. While I did not expect a bustling facility, I see not a single warder. Our first course of action should be to seek one out, wherever they may be. However, there is something you must know. The magic I wove upon entering requires my constant awareness. That is to say, if we are forced to fight, I cannot risk joining you in battle. Should I lose focus, Pandemonium's protections will rapidly crumble before the force assailing them. Well. Were there another way, I would gladly choose it, but let us at least be grateful that neither of us is here alone, trapped in hopeless circumstances. If we should fail to find a peaceable solution, then I hope that I can rely on your strength to see us through. Oh, of course. This request doesn't come as a surprise, to be honest. I am often asked to fight insane beasties. At least you received it with good humor. Rest assured, I do not mean to stand by idly while you risk life and limb. I hope to be able to lend at least a touch of magical support. Creation magics do have their uses in that regard. I had it in mind to use your ether as basis for illusory allies that will fight at your side. Perhaps 7 shall do. Not exactly an army, but by the looks of you, a formidable band nonetheless. For a total of 8 heroes. Then so shall it be. Now, what, I wonder, awaits us in Pandemonium's pitiless halls? Indeed. Sounds like a dungeon to me. As Fedalus. One minute, be right back. back. Let's see. Asphodelos, the first circle. So now, what if we try going solo? Since we are Dark Knight, we're only 10 levels above the required level. Because we're, you know, the cap is 100 and this is a level 90 dungeon. So we'll see how this goes. Might need more peoples. I'll save them! I must! What? This appears to be one of the warders we seek, but I'm afraid he is... But I'm afraid I talk too fast, and so you won't be able to read everything that I say. Ha! Warder of the Condemned. Aricthonios. Okay, so it is just gonna be... fight, just boss... No, it's... It is a... raid. Oh, a raid boss fight. Rather than a trial. Okay. It's fine. I have my self-esteem, friend.
For the life of my chains will catch you.
Really? Oh. Switching sides. Warder's Wrath. As long as there's no multi-person mechanic, I think we should be able to handle this.
Drag them onto the depths of chains.
Huh. Your tank buster wasn't enough to knock out my Darkest Night.
Be sailed by ice and flame.
How does this work? Okay, I got a vulnerability. Okay, so I want it to be... I want to be in the ice, not covering fire. And then in the fire when I'm further away. Nice. Alright. No worries. Oh, okay. Alright, so Stand off of whatever orb is surrounding you.
Chains to bind.
Shot. Heat. This is gonna be a long fight, isn't it? So long. a while. Didn't even set off my blackest ring. We're almost to 50% of the way through the fight. So, Arichthonios, is this all you have? I mean, I assume you've got like a second phase. To less than 50%. Close to having him 2/3 dead. 1/3 health left. Did not need to Rampart and Blackest Night. Oh well. Turns out we can totally solo. Down to less than a quarter left. Unless he's about to shake things up. Some tank buster. Just you wait. I'll deal with you. 9% left. That tank buster is nothing. 2%. 1%. God. 20-minute fight. Oh boy. Down he goes. Buddy. Da, 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 da. Just a nod. Yeah, I did that. All by myself. Took a while. Esfodos. Esfodos. That was a thrilling display, and if I may be so vaunting, the warriors I spun from your ether fought even more splendidly than I had anticipated. Warriors? Oh yeah, also, excuse me. Be gone, bot! How dare you? I suppose they were cut from excellent cloth, after all. We should wait until this man regains his senses. He wears the robes of a warder, and I would be very curious to know what drove him to attack us sight unseen. It was very strange to just run out here, spot us, and go, I will protect them! And it cost us. Genosia, he stirs. What came over me? It's coming back to me. My mind was filled with a storm of desperation, anger. I leapt at you, though I knew naught of your intentions. Pray accept my apologies and my thanks. Had you not knocked some sense back into me, I may have fallen upon someone less capable of defending themselves. I am Erichthonios, a warder of Asphodelos, Pandemonium's highest lair and the place we're in now. One must wonder why you were so desperate to keep us out. What is happening in Pandemonium? The creations interred within Asphodelos have been set free, and stalk its halls to no end but violence. That is not good, to say the least. Has this ever happened before? No, never. Each level of Pandemonium is under the charge of a key ward, who keeps strict control over the most minute aspects of their domain. They've selected with great care and their loyalty to Master La Habrea is absolute. Yet something has gone terribly wrong. Try as we might to hold the line, the chaos within is overwhelming. I hardly realized that I had become separated from my colleagues. I remember a chorus of whispers assailing my senses, and afterwards only flashes of rage and fury, then blackness, from which I awoke to find that whatever had overcome me was gone. I see. Your senses may have been muddled by magics that affect the mind, perhaps the selfsame ones that saw you separated from the other warders. Whatever had taken hold of me, thank you for releasing me from its clutches. That you've come here from the surface must mean some word of our plight has reached the outside world. If you know anything that may help, pray tell. Well, not much word has reached the outside. Horror among horrors. So Pandemonium's protections are indeed being dismantled from within. By the same individual or individuals that released its captives and set them upon you, no doubt. Such knowledge avails us little, however, if we cannot ascertain their identity. Themis, was it? You said you worked for an organization under the auspices of the Convocation. Were they to receive word of what has transpired here, what measures would they take? Doubtless they would consider this place to be a lost cause. Pandemonium's ties to the outside world would be severed, or perhaps it would be wiped from existence entirely. As I thought. Were the creatures to escape into the outside world, there would be untold carnage. The words of La Habrea would never risk that, despite what value the research subjects may hold. All the more reason to work with haste. If we can't expect further help, then it falls upon me to save the others. I'll not leave them behind. You would go alone? I won't leave the other warders to face certain doom. I know they fight for survival even now. They wouldn't abandon their duty. They would see the creatures return to their cells at all costs. And so I must do the same. Themis, I know the request I'm about to make of you is a monumental one, but please, say not a word of this to the Convocation until I've been given a chance to set things right. Forgive my rudeness, Erichthonios, but my decision cannot be swayed by emotion. You would only be consigning yourself to an early death. Strength of resolve alone cannot win in the face of overwhelming odds. That being said, our investigation has only just begun, and we would be remiss to turn back ere we've made an exhaustive survey. So, for the time being, there is slightly more than resolve to rely upon. I knew you would be all too eager to join us. Each moment since you fell from the skies has been more interesting than the last. More and more you remind me of my dear friend. Which goes some way toward encouraging me that this matter will yet reach a satisfactory conclusion. So you agree to help? For the moment, our goals align. The protective magics of Pandemonium yet hold, so for the moment time is in our favor. Let us proceed upon the course you and Genasi have set us upon. Themis and Genasia, yes? Thank you. The warders owe you a great debt already. Smile. We shall be glad to have someone familiar with Pandemonium's halls by our side. A party of 3 is ever so much more entertaining than a pair of 2. Now, let us turn our attention to rescuing your colleagues. Perhaps it would be wise to approach the gates, in case any have followed you out. Quest complete. Woo! Erichthonios.
under the surface.
Under the surface.
Not a sound can be heard from within, which means neither creature nor warder has made it this far. We should begin forming a plan to save them at once.
Forgive me if I misunderstand, but do you mean to rescue the warders and creations both?
Naturally. Although they may be dangerous, they're valuable research subjects. I wouldn't see our labor, our untold hours of study go to waste.
I dare say La Habrea would smile to hear you say such a thing. That is, if we had cause to report this incident to him.
Smile? I'm not sure his face is capable of such warmth.
Ah, so you have met him before? I was under the impression he rarely visited Pandemonium.
I have, yes. My mentor was the previous head of this facility. That is to say, La Habrea's predecessor in the position of Chief Keyword. Her name was Athena, and she was a researcher with the words. 'Twas she who appointed me to this position, in fact.
I see. I did not know there was a Chief Keyword before La Habrea. Your motivation to save your research subjects is not entirely driven by duty to the words, then. You wish also to preserve the work of your mentor.
You've the right of it. I'm lacking in ideas of how to go about that, however. If a mere warder and cannot...
I'm a mere warder and cannot wield interment magics. Interment. Not internment, interment.
Ah, but of course, I can hardly expect you to be versed in the magics we use here. If you recall, during our battle earlier, I bound you in ethereal shackles.
Interment is a more refined and powerful magic based upon the same principles. While both are used to keep our subjects docile, only the keyword of each tier is permitted to use interment. Even if I were allowed, I lack the aptitude to use the spell to any notable effect. Fascinating. I have some knowledge of these forms of spellcraft, actually. La Habrea himself established their foundation, if I recall. While shackles are meant to bind an object in place for a short time, interment freezes the very space around it for as long as the caster wills. Indeed. While the illusory beings you summoned in our fight suggested as much, I see your knowledge of magic is vast. Perhaps you've already mastered the art of interment, and I've been lecturing you as a child all this time. Yeah, those illusory beings that they summoned, yeah, they sure were a thing that was summoned. I'm afraid my knowledge ends there. I have not the precise understanding of how the invocations interact with natural laws that would be needed to cast said spells with any consistency. While I consider myself well versed in various magics, I would be ill-advised to assume the duties of keyword without instruction. That being said, if I were to learn more of interment and its inner workings, perhaps. Leave the fighting to me. You two can figure out the rest. I dare say we can do just that. Ericthonios, you implied that what prevented you from performing interment was lack of magical capacity. What if I supplemented your power with my own? Would the spell succeed then? I can't say for certain. I've never heard of such a thing being done. I believe it may be our best recourse. That is, of course, assuming you can perform the initial rites and incantations flawlessly. Even the smallest misstep and we would have to start over. You needn't worry about that. I've seen the spells cast so many times that their motions have been burned into my memory. I won't disappoint. Very well. Let us work out the specifics afterwards. Once we do, we can test out our methods on one of the escaped creatures, though I suppose there is the matter of finding him. It would be foolish to rush in blindly, lest we find ourselves surrounded with naught but an untested stratagem at our disposal. Nay, I would prefer to engage a single creature that Junasia could dispatch on her own if the spell were to go awry. I agree, and I may have an idea on that regard. I recall seeing the hippocampus wandering the waterways during my flight. Perhaps it's still there. Few of the subjects housed within Asphodelos are fond of water, and I believe we'll be able to engage the beast without fear of unwanted guests. Then that shall be our first target, or perhaps subject is a better term. Before we commence with the interment magics, the creature should be weakened to a sufficient degree. I believe I can trust you with that task.
That's what I'm best at.
As dependable as ever. Once you have given it a thorough trouncing, we shall bind this hippocampus with the keyword's magic. Until then, my illusions shall fight by your side. The hippocampus will be alone, but it's a daunting opponent nonetheless. Its magic warps the environment around it, and it will be at home amidst the waterways. Steel yourself for a fight. So you talk about finding a beast that I could subdue by myself to test things on first. But then you immediately go to a creature that requires a full party of 8 to take down, huh? When did this change occur? Ridiculous. And this is part of the Moogle Treasure Trove event? Yeah, maybe we can get into one of these. I don't know. Let's actually take a look. Sigmascape, Savage, yeah, no. No one's currently looking for it. There. Duty Finder. Average wait time 17 minutes. Yeah. If that's the case, and things go like the previous fight, I'll be nearly done by the time I get a whole party together. Or, you know, I could be nearly done by the time I get a full party together. So we'll just fight this beastie on our own. This hippocampus. That is quite the beastie. Ah! Its head and neck are floating above its torso. Very strange. Duty commenced. Now, of course, this is assuming that I don't have to worry about any multi-person mechanics. Which I want to be. Oh, no? No, that's just his melee. pretty wide. Oh boy. Double impact? Sounds like it's gonna be 2 impacts. Yeah. No, just the 1. And it seems Blackest Night is enough for that. I doubt it signifies anything good. Okay. I chose... well. So the body is going to do a straight attack. The head does a whole half of the arena. Marking depths again. Sewage deluge. Okay. Target me with something. What did I do wrong? Association. I don't like that. What the? Huh? A second head? Ah, the first one decomposed immediately. Oh boy. That seems like a lot. Plus I had vulnerability, so actually it didn't do as much as I thought it would. And we're not even 20% of the way through the fight. Time for another sewage day. Tainted flood. Whew. So that was different. Yeah, what is this? Do I want to be just... no? That's just... how do I avoid that? Alright. Association time. Oh, well. Not to worry about that. Except I do have to worry about this. So it is a good idea to use a defensive as well as that. Combo of attacks. We're about a third of the way through. Sure is another long fight. Do I need to like stay still? No? Staying still isn't the answer. Neither is looking away. Don't hit that mechanic. Whatever it is. Like, surely there's going to be another mechanic coming up. Almost halfway through. Tainted blood, tainted blood. I've got to get away from this tainted blood. next time I'm gonna have to like mouse over that and see if I can find out what it is. Okay, to do something to make myself not so easy. Move a certain distance or me and my self-esteem can take this. Yeah. So who created this sewage monster and why? That's the question. Damage taken is greatly increased when separated something. Oh, is that a mechanic where you have to be standing next to another party member in order to like split it up or something? He's never jumped to that corner before. Sewage eruption. that easy prey mechanic is a multi-person mechanic, then I suppose it's at least easily dealt with even solo. If the failure just means you get a Vuln stack, I can deal with that. Much better than those mechanics where it's all like, if you're solo, you die! You know? At least for my purposes. It does make sense to have mechanics that are like, you need friends. This is an MMO, by the way. Right? So I don't fault them so much. Where are these? Increase when separated from similarly marked allies. Okay, yep. So what you're supposed to do is go to another marked ally and like buddy up. But there's no other marked allies because there's no other allies. So it's just me and I get a Vuln stack. Alright. Which side you jump into this time? Going back to usual. Yeah. That felt pretty cool. Laying down my salted earth, and then he jumps over there, and then erupt right underneath him. If it's an MMO, that would be a sick move to do a ton of damage. Probably stun him. Left. We're almost there. We got this. It's in the bag. Bernard, I've got to get away. I've got to run away. From this tainted flood. Stack. What the? That's new. got to do, kind of do the thing again. Yes, interruption. I thought so. You're so predictable. We got this. $1.7. 1% left. Point 4. Yeah. 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 Get him. It's been 84 years, yes. It takes forever. But you know what else takes forever? Getting a party together. Da 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 da. You caught the hippocampus. Would you like to give it a name? I knew that you were no mere mercenary, but to make such clean work of the hippocampus. Seasoned fighters scarcely have occasion to visit Pandemonium, let alone display their skills. Mystery takes all forms indeed. Needless to say, our plan worked to perfection, in no small part thanks to you two. Themis's power was more than enough to complete the interment spell casting. To complete the interment. Spellcasting was never my strong suit, but that almost made me feel like a proper magos. Truly? Having seen your abilities firsthand in your fight with Genasia, I beg to disagree. Shackles is one exception, and 'tis only because I've been forced to practice it since I was but a small child. Other magics leave me feeling completely out of my depth. Regardless, it seems luck is on my side, to guide me to you. We may prove the impossible possible after all. Yeah. Yeah. The files of creation. While our success in sealing away the hippocampus is certainly heartening, the fact that we have yet to see any other warders concerns me. The keyword of Asphedalos is nothing if not cautious. Doubtless he has gathered what warders he could, and retreated to a safe area. Let us hope so. It occurs to me that I know little of the keywords besides their magical prowess. Is there aught more you can share? Of course. A man named Hesperus is in charge of Asphodelos. Not only does he have thorough knowledge of the creatures here, but he takes great pains to be a mentor to each of the warders under his charge. He has done much to ensure that I flourished here, in spite of my ineptitude at magic. And I have always known him to be the sort of man who faces difficult decisions with unwavering composure. Furthermore, Keywards are not only masters of interment, they can also bend the hallways of Pandemonium to their will with creation magics. With all this in mind, I am certain that so long as Hesperos guides them, the other warders are safe. I can see why absolute control over the environs is imperative. Had we faced the hippocampus upon arid sands instead of the waterways, I suspect the battle would have ended much more quickly. Yeah, that would have been nice. In any case, if this Hesperos is as capable and caring as you say, we would do well to seek him out as soon as we can. He has like as not taken your colleagues to a secure location. The safest place would be the innermost circle of Asphodelos. From there, they could flee to Abyssos if hard-pressed. Even should they have sought safe haven within the other circles, if we make for the fourth, we ought to encounter them on the way. Indeed. And we shall gain a comprehensive understanding of the situation within Asphodelos, which will be essential in determining whether we ought to continue down to Abyssos. The rub, of course, is that I myself possess no power to bend the circles to my will. Instead, we must proceed through the central corridor, which was barred by the Phoenix. Last I checked. Phoenix. The Phoenix. Phoenix. I have heard the name before. A fiery bird with life eternal. No, that would be Phoenix. Spelled differently. Beyond unquenchable brilliance. The perfected concept boasts nigh boundless restorative powers, if I recall. Truly an exemplary feat of creation magics. Perfection is ever built on the back of failure, however, and La Habrea suffered countless missteps during his experiments. And he was hardly the only one. This Phoenix will be but one of many attempts at the concept gone awry. Aye, far from evoking wonder, our Phoenix is a creature of fury and wrath, and seeks only to turn the world to ash. Thus was it confined within Pandemonium. Development of the concept continued elsewhere, but as the moons turned, more and more researchers abandoned the project as an impossibility, save for La Habrea and his words. When I received word that at long last La Habrea had succeeded where so many others had failed, I was nearly overcome. Pray tell, how did the warders of Pandemonium celebrate their master's accomplishment? I don't believe we did. The research of the words of La Habrea has little consequence to our work here, save for those rare times it charges us with a new specimen. Truth be told, I don't remember anyone making note of the occasion. But enough reminiscing. We must make ready to confront the Phoenix. While it's possible that it flew off to some other wing of Pandemonium, we would make that assumption at our own peril. Better to assume that we'll need to bring Asphodelos' most unruly subject to heel. I certainly see no reason to delay. The Phoenix's power over flame will avail it far less in a barren corridor than elsewhere, so it may well serve us to subdue it sooner rather than later. Yes! My Warrior of Light is so excited to fight a Phoenix. What is it? Oh, the Phoenix. The Phoenix. It's over there. Oh. Nani? Yo, what? What? Yeah, sorry, Dracula just warped us away. And we've decided, nah, I don't think so. It seems whoever is behind this can alter the space around us at will. We face an uphill battle. Impossible. If those were creation magics at work, then that means... Let us confront that reality after we have conquered the enemy in front of us. Every drop of our focus shall be required if we are to inter the Phoenix. Asphodelos, the third circle, now accessible. But we'll have to take on that third circle next time, because these fights take 20 minutes! Look at 22 minutes, that one. And the previous one, if it... Will it still? Yeah, 20 minutes for the first circle, and 22 for the second. Undoubtedly, it would take another 20 minutes for the third. Sure is some interesting goings on here. In Pandemonium. Well. That will have to be it for today, getting all these things. Oh yeah, we got our 4 lords thingy. Got some materials that I'll have to figure out. Do I actually... Savage 9, I feel like I've got... Yeah, I've got like Savage 11, Savage 12, so yeah, definitely selling those actually. Quick Arm 9, I'm pretty sure I've got Quick Arm 10, Quick Arm 11, so we'll sell those. Got these bits. I have to look into those. Yeah. So next stream will be on Monday. And I think we're going to start up Lord of the Rings Online. Yeah. I'm in the mood. The Tolkien mood. So we'll start that up on Monday. And then on Wednesday we'll return to Ereban. 64-bit servers. Yep. Yeah, I have a couple characters on Angmar, which is the legacy server. And as I understand it, that's a server that's essentially like what WoW Classic did, where they slowly over time unlock more and more content, essentially. So you can only, it's like capped right now, And then in a couple of months, I think they'll be adding more content. And that way, at least, once I get caught up to where it's at, we can take breaks waiting for new content. We can do other stuff during those breaks. Should be fun, though. I've been playing here and there as a hunter, which has been really fun. But I do want to make a River Hobbit burglar for stream. Which, as I understand it, burglars are bit tough early on. They are kind of squishy, and they need to be able to like go stealth, take on one target at a time, kind of thing. But I hear that later on they get really high in damage potential. But yeah, so playing that on Monday. Wednesday we'll continue Ereban. Was it Shadow Legacy or Legacy of Shadow? I think it's Shadow Legacy. Let me just double check. Yeah, Shadow Legacy. Ereban Shadow Legacy. Which has been fun. And then next week we'll continue our journeys here in Pandemonium. But regardless, until next time, be kind to yourself, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next mission. Bye-bye.